The Ryzen 7 7800X3D has finally arrived, and I will show you the perfect PC build for it under $2,000. I will also give you some tips on how to make it more expensive and how to make it cheaper depending on your budget. But trust me guys, I wouldn't get this CPU with a lower end GPU than the one that I'm about to show you. The reason being is because this is the fastest CPU for gaming and you definitely want a high-end GPU. Now, if you don't know anything about components, I highly recommend you to book a call with me where I will recommend you the perfect PC build for your budget and your needs just by answering a couple of questions, and it's going to be much more personal than just my YouTube videos. So if you're interested, click the link down below in the video description. But anyway, you will have all the links as well for these components in the video description, even with the alternatives. That being said, let's start. With the CPU, I picked obviously the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Right now it's going for $580, which is really expensive, but we are talking about the fastest CPU on the market right now, so it makes sense that it's expensive. With the CPU cooler, I picked the Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 with RGB. Because how power efficient this CPU is, you can actually get the CPU cooler, which is going around $40 to $45. So insane price for a CPU cooler that will cool down this Ryzen 7. For the motherboard, I picked the ASRock B650M PGO Riptide. This is going for $190. It's not going to be the flashiest AM5 motherboard, but it has enough features for gaming and you will not be disappointed for the price that you're paying. For the memory kit, I picked the Team Group T-Force Vulkan 32GB of RAM 2x16, this means that it's dual channel, of DDR5 at 5600MHz CL36 memory. Now you can actually go with higher speeds like 6000. You will actually not notice a difference when it comes to gaming, so I wouldn't spend the extra money because you're not getting extra performance. For the storage, I picked the P41 Plus 1TB of Gen 4 SSD for $50. Once again, for gaming, there's no difference between the cheapest Gen 4 SSD and the most expensive Gen 4 SSD. When it comes to files transferring and content creation, that's a different story. But when it comes to gaming, trust me guys, you will not get more FPS if you get the fastest SSD out on the market. For the graphics card, I picked the Radeon RX 7900 XT, and this is the minimum that I will go with, or the RTX 4070 Ti if you're going to buy from Nvidia, because anything lower than this would be a waste of money considering we have the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. And if you have a ton of money, you can actually go with the RTX 4080 or RTX 4090 if you want to, without any issues. But remember, if you're going to buy a cheaper GPU, let's say like the RTX 3070 or RX 6800 XT, then I would recommend you downgrading the CPU and spending the money that you save on the GPU to have the best price to performance upgrade. Because you have to remember that on a gaming PC, you are prioritizing your GPU over your CPU. Yes, there are a few high intensive CPU games, but still you always want to prioritize your GPU. And of course, get a CPU that will not bottleneck the system. For the case, I picked the Montec Air 100 ARGB Micro ATX mid-tower case, and the reason why I picked this is because it's a beautiful looking case. It comes with 4 RGB pre-installed fans, it has a front edge panel so you don't have to worry about airflow, and it's only $77. Yes, maybe you can go with the H7 flow, which is more expensive, but then you will have to buy extra fans, so at the end you're spending much more money than just the case, where for this one you're only spending $77 for the whole package. And last but definitely not least, the power supply, we have the Enermax Revolution the F2 850 watt 80 plus gold power supply. This is A-tier rated, meaning that it's the best quality and it has enough wattage for the system. If you want something that's more future proof, because maybe you will put the RTX 4090 down the line, then I would recommend you going with 1000 or 1200 watts of wattage, but that is going to cost you an extra. For under $2,000, 850 watts is going to be the sweet spot and you will have no issues whatsoever. Now the total price for this system is going to be around $1,980, so not bad at all considering you get the latest Ryzen 7 7800X3D, fastest CPU in the market, with the RX 7900 XT. This means that you are getting great performance at 1440p and 4K. If you have a 1440p monitor, you're going to be maxing out everything basically, and for 4K you're going to get a great 4K gaming experience. And I'm talking about you're going to get the same rasterized performance at 4K as the RTX 3090 Ti, which was the best GPU available not so long ago. So this is how powerful this GPU is, and you can use it for both really high FPS at 1440p and really high FPS 4K gaming. So now if you want to make this PC more expensive, the first upgrade I will make is the storage. I will go with 2TB of Gen 4 SSD. The same kit actually is going for $100, the P41 Plus, and you will get much more storage. Trust me, you will appreciate this, especially if you like to download a bunch of games. And then if you want to make it even more expensive, for around $2,250, you can get the RX 7900 XTX instead of the XT version, and 1000 watts power supply instead of 850, because you will need more wattage for this GPU. Here you're getting the best performance for 4K gaming. This is the best GPU of AMD, and I wouldn't recommend you buying this GPU for 1440p. So if you're thinking of 1440p highest FPS, it's definitely not worth it to spend the extra money. But if you want the best performance at 4K and you have the extra money to spend, then you actually have a reason to buy this. On the other side, if you have less money, I would recommend you downgrading the RAM to 16 gigs of DDR5 at 5200 MHz, going for $65. So the total price for the system would be around $1,930. And for gaming, 16 gigs is all that you need. I actually made a video about 16 gigs against 32 gigs that you can go ahead and watch in the top right of the screen. But let me tell you, for gaming, you will not notice a difference. But if you're planning on doing a ton of multitasking or streaming, definitely 32 gigs of RAM is recommended. And another downgrade you can make that I don't actually recommend that much, but you can actually do it if you want a cheaper PC, is downgrading the motherboard for the ASRock B650M HDB motherboard. The reason why I don't recommend you downgrading to this one is because you don't have the same upgradable path. However, it's still a really solid motherboard for the price and still enough for gaming. So if you really want to save up money, then this downgrade will make sense for you. However, if you can't afford the other motherboard, it's going to be a much better option. The total price for this PC with the cheaper motherboard is going to be around $1,880. Now, if you have a different budget, or even if you have this budget but you want reassurance, like I said at the beginning, booking a call with me is going to be your best option. It's only going to be a 30-minute call. You answer a couple questions for me to get prepared for the call, and then you will not get disappointed with the system that I will give you. Also, if you're not looking for a PC build, maybe you're looking for a Prebuilt PC, you can watch my video about the best Prebuilt PCs of the month. That will be in the top right of the screen, where I go through different budgets and analyze the best PCs for every budget without you having to build it yourself. And yes, don't worry, if you book a call with me, you can put if you want a Prebuilt PC or a PC build as well. And if you have any other questions, let me know down below in the comment section. I will try to reply as fast as possible. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.